really cost Wigan, given we scored more tries. Hope Lynette is okay. Long stoppage for his injury, gave himself whiplash from a big hit on Sarge. Great to meet Tom HKR before the game. Um, yeah, so I, uh, yeah, I thought there were some nice tries scored, especially by Wigan. I thought in this.
Yeah,
Um,
some nice moves that came off. I think they did look, certainly from the highlights I saw, they did look more fluid actually with Sarginson playing at fullback.
yeah, I mean, yeah, a lot of their tries came from nice passing movements, good overlap. Um, I think there was a gift of Rover's first try, wasn't there? Ball straight into the hands
Yeah,
of the Rovers player there.
yeah,
Um,
that was a very it was very much please help yourself, sir. Thank you very
yeah,
much.
yeah. How far can you go once I've given you the ball? But yeah, then Sam Powell's drop goal. He seemed to have all the time in the world to do what he liked with the ball, and he decided to put it over.
There was no chase coming from anyone. They were
No,
nowhere near him. It wasn't even a half attempted sort of fling of an arm or something. It was just yeah, okay, we'll give you 5 seconds and then we'll come and
it really looked like it was almost as he dropped the ball onto his foot that Roberson went, "Oh, hang on a minute! If he drops a goal, they win. We'd best move." But it was that thought process which takes quite a while.
you could almost hear the sort of clock ticking, couldn't you?
Yeah,
It was just yeah. I mean, I'm not surprised, and I'm used to it now. It's just have an opportunity, a perfect opportunity to get some points and squander it. The
yeah.
whole Kingston Rovers story, 2015 onwards. Um,
And then, of
yeah,
course, moving on to the last match of the weekend, which also didn't help you, did it?
no, it didn't in that regard. But there's part of me that kind of now thinks I just want to see London do it. I
Yeah.
want to see the Great Escape because they've had these fantastic performances at home in particular where they have
Mm,
done so well. You kind of think that deserves something, whereas the
yeah.
sort of bobbing along and jagging the odd win here or there and generally looking like you don't want to be here. That bad pains me to say it, but I kind of feel that's more deserved. Whereas London and they're doing it the right way. They back their kids. They back the squad that got them up there, and they're doing it the right way in my eyes. And it'd be fantastic if they did manage to pull it off. Anyway, we've done the summing up before we've done the game. Um, in the last game of the weekend on Sunday afternoon, it finished London Broncos 23, St Helens 22, having been 12 apiece at half time, in front of a slightly improved 2,801 people down at the Trailfinders ground, with Marcus Griffiths, no relation, the referee there. In terms of statistics for that winning London side, they didn't actually trip many stat lines, which was interesting. Luke Yates, however, making a whopping 58 tackles, so putting a shift in, and Reese Williams out there on the right wing making 109 metres. For the losing St Helens side, that just feels weird saying it. Mark Percival picking up one try assist, running for 155 metres and making 4 clean breaks. James Roby, who it's today been announced is going in for groin surgery to fix a long-standing problem, so he'll be out for 4 weeks with the aim of being back for the Challenge Cup semi-final. Um, he scored a try, made 50 tackles and 128 metres. Matty Lee's 44 tackles by him, and young Jack Wellesby running for 148 metres. And we had some fan views on this.
Yes, St David said, chuck the 2 points to rest key players. Probably worth it for Saints in the long run. Great performance by London, tidy little ground, and a splendid day out.
Yeah, Paul Chamberlain says, imagine you take an Italian and a Hungarian to their first rugby league games and they're served up that feast. Similar to the Wigan home game, an early blowout seemed on the cards before London established a foothold and dominated the game. Kudos to the London pack for standing up to Saints, with Morgan Smith putting in his best performance of the season. Great to silence some chippy Saints fans.
Mark Hill, busy this
Oh,
week, said,
him again.
yeah, Said Mystic Tom called this one before kickoff. I thought he was just a little scared, but turns out he's clairvoyant.
There we go. A scared Mystic Tom.
Yep.
So yeah, interesting game overall. But London, I mean, they didn't look like they were doing. They were going to do it because certainly from the early exchanges, it looked. Certainly from watching the highlights, it looked all Saints. What was quite interesting was watching for the first try. Luke Thompson really running at a half-back support line, just popping up right on the shoulder of the man, right where the ball was to get it. The first London try again came from a silly possession given away by Saints as they were working it. One thing I did spot from the highlights was James Cunningham's performance. I thought he looked very good as a half-back. I've always really thought of him at his best at hooker, but he's definitely growing in. The more he's playing at half-back, he's definitely growing into that role. He looked like he was very much drifting to create space and bringing players with him. So if you watch him, he's just sort of dragging 2 or 3 players with him that's then creating the space which he's then able to hit with a crisp pass. I suppose having been a hooker, he's got that quick passing that he can just whip it out to someone very quickly and then they can exploit that space, and they did that a couple of times. There's one Saints try in the second half where Regan Grace did very well to find his centre sort of back inside and post the ball back in. Did very quickly. He was very close to the line. I was about to fall out there. And the one thing for London that's come out again is the fact they play at such pace that everything is done at an intense pace and it's really about attacking. They're not ever really going to be a great defensive side because of the way they play. It is very sort of rapier, like they just go for it and absolutely go. But the idea being that they can outpace their opponents, and that's where they have profited. Kicking from Jordan Abdul looked very good again, and again in the second half, Luke Thompson looked like he was just handling it like a half-back, and he almost looks like he's sort of joining in the play like a proper loose forward in a way, because the way he's shipping on, he's just got all those skills, very similar in that regard to James Graham, in the way that he is that complete player that can shift the ball both ways as well as being an absolutely devastating runner at the same time.
Yeah.
And then for the winning drop goal, I mean the setup play from London was perfect. The runners stopped in exactly the right place because the 2 option runners just stopped at exactly the right place, which meant that they weren't doing anything wrong, but the Saints players had to get round them to get to the kicker because they were just in position where they were closing the angle down, and they
were just doing enough to stop the defence.
They were just making it difficult without crossing the line, and it was timed to perfection. It's clearly something they had practiced on the training ground because it was a very well choreographed manoeuvre, and then just taken very well by Smith for that drop goal. So yeah, I mean, again, I there's part of me that just wants to see London do it.
Yeah,
and we'll come on to the standings in a minute, and just that shows you it's not out of reach now, and the fact they've had these great performances against really the top half of the table is where they've done their best work.
Yeah, I mean they looked good against us.
And
played a while ago.
Yeah, and you've got to think that that game against Hull KR in 2 weeks on Thursday, that's going to be the one that's really going to separate what happens to that. So that could really be a 4-pointer, for want of a better word. Yeah,
definitely. I think it'd be interesting to see whether Jordan Abdul can what he does to his future employers.
Yeah, that could be interesting. Anyway, take us through the standings of how that round played out.
Yep, so Saints remain top on 30 points and Wyre stay second on 26. Catalan and Hull follow both on 20 points. Casa 5th on 18 before Wakefield in 6th. Salford, Wigan and Huddersfield are all on 14 points. Tightening up at the bottom with Leeds in 10th, 12 points. Hull KR and London both on 10 in 11th and 12th respectively. Hull KR have a points difference margin of just 21 points.
Gosh, it is squeaky bottom time down there at the bottom of the table.
It is.
You just can't call it at this stage. So what stood out for you this week in terms of overall? Was there a particular stat line that stood out?
Um, Stat line wise, I mean, Albert Kelly's stats were actually far better than I had realised they were watching. So, um, 2 tries, 2 try assists, 9 tackle busts, and 103 meters and 3 clean breaks. They're
Sure, yeah,
impressive.
yeah. Sean O'Loughlin stood out for me as well. 48 tackles,
Yes,
114 meters running, and then chipping with 13 marker tackles and
5
five
offloads.
offloads as well. I mean, that was a fantastic performance for someone that isn't getting any younger and has suddenly sort of popped up again, having
And normally
looked
doesn't play
like
that many minutes either.
exactly and looking like he was starting to fade out the game, but maybe he's not
Is,
done just yet.
is he looking for a new contract at the end of the year?
Yeah, I think he will be. Yeah,
Maybe that's
so
why.
maybe he's yeah doing a Chris Sandow and just playing at contract time.
Yep.
And in terms of player of the week, well, I, yeah, I'm not sure who I'd give this one to. Have you got a view on this?
It's hard, isn't it, when you've been at a match, it's your team. Because I haven't seen masses of the other matches. For me, I think I would go for Sneed because of the way he controlled and managed the game. Because I think in a pre-Sneed era, we would have lost that match to Salford.
Yeah, I can see that. It sort of was the control you needed, and getting that result from the kickoff at the end
Yeah,
really give you that extra sort of bounce as well. That sort of built on the back of that.
yeah, because the amount of yardage they were able to make with the extra player
Yeah,
and
yeah,
just all the extra space, was quite significant. So yeah, that's who I would go for. But I appreciate that is slightly biased, as I haven't really seen much other rugby this weekend.
yeah. Well, in terms of just moment of the week, I'm going to say Tui Lolohea for his try,
Hmm.
just coming out of nowhere and just really took some finishing. I think that was fantastic.
Yeah. How about a highlight of the week? Do you have one of those?
Um, well, it would be that Lolohea try was probably my play of the week.
I'm going to go for the London drop goal.
Yeah, yeah, fair. And you could tell by the reaction as well what it meant for
Yeah,
them as a side
exactly.
and what it really did for them. Um,
Yeah,
yeah, so no update on Super Brew or anything like that because I can't get into it to look at it. So
right.
more on that one next week. So that takes us to everything in the Super League in that round. Don't forget any games next week. Then do get your views in using the Google form. Thanks to everybody who's done it this week. But if those silent majority out there that are not chipping in with a fan review, let us know what we think. If you think we've not talked about something, then that's because we don't know about it. So it's up to you to tell us. Okay, time for the other results section, and we start off with the Championship round 16.
Yep, it finished York 18, Toulouse 25, um, Bradford 16, Batley nil, Dewsbury 66, Rochdale 10.
Yeah, more bad news for Rochdale.
Yep, Lee 31, Halifax 8, Sheffield 18, Featherstone 38, Swinton 14, Toronto 34, Widnes 38, Barrow 14. And we got a fan viewing on this one.
Yep, from our resident Wigness fan, Paul O'Brien. It's POB 1976. A third win in 9 days for the Vikings. A convincing win for Widnes, but the score flattered Barrow after they scored 2 interception tries towards the end of the game. Widnes need to respect the ball more when leading, but another win in the bag.
It's good to see them starting to win again, isn't it? Because
Yeah,
it was almost like they got back to 0 points and that was it. They forgot how to play.
yeah, we'll stop at 0. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
But that leaves the standings. Toronto are on top, and they're now 6 points clear of Toulouse. Feverley and York also make up the playoffs, with Sheffield a win away on 18 points, and it leaves Barrow and Rochdale looking pretty sunk down there in the bottom two.
Yeah. Especially Rochdale.
Yeah, I think it's almost certain that they'll be playing in League One next year. Speaking of League One,
Yeah, it was round 11 for League One, and